Hey there, Taurus. Welcome. Welcome. You can probably hear me now, Taurus. Thank you for being here. Welcome to your reading for the week, this is for September 2024. We're going to jump right in here, Taurus. You have this flexible card and this Treasure Island card. The Treasure Island card is kind of the as above, so below card in this deck, and it just says if you can dream it, you can have it. And the flexible card, I feel, is just saying, if you can be flexible in how you manifest what you want. I'm almost 1,000,000% sure that you always get these cards of flexibility with me, probably because Taurus isn't necessarily known for being very flexible, right? But, I think that flexibility will be your best friend over the next several years. So kind of just allowing things to come together how they want to come together, especially if you're working towards like a specific goal, wish, or dream. We have the Chariot up to the moon. The Chariot is very focused in accomplishing something. He also represents as above, so below. And the moon, to me, can represent like an impossible dream, even though it's not impossible. So, clearly you have these bigger ideas for your life, right? Or you have things that seem like they're a little bit out of reach. But the Chariot really says, as long as you are in alignment and as long as you take the steps necessary to get there, you will get there no matter what. You have the Ten of Cups, the Magician, and the Eight of Pentacles. I think it's interesting that the Magician is also pointing towards the Queen of Cups. You always get the Queen of Cups with me, Taurus, and I'm always telling you to follow your heart, right? So this seems to be like a long-term thing that you are dealing with, and you're the only sign that gets this like so much. So, again, I always like to point those things out because it's, probably the most important energy that you are dealing with during this time, I would say over the next several years. The Ten of Cups is about like your inner happiness. These people, sure, it could represent love, it can represent happy home, happy family, but these people are choosing to be happy. They're focusing on those 10 cups, and they are also doing more of the things that do make them happy, which I think we are in a time where pretty much everyone is being asked to bring more, love, joy, happiness into the world. And so by focusing on your own happiness, you are doing that. And I feel like the 10 of Cups is kind of saying that happiness is really your key to success, as cliche as that sounds, right? We have the Magician next. So if we go 10 of Cups, usually the way I read is I take every single card into account, but I also go in order. So, the story, the cards are telling a story like this down, right? From the first card down. And so from the Ten of Cups to the Magician, it kind of tells me that you are, he's got this wand up here pointing up to the Ten of Cups. And it's like saying the secret to your manifestation is going to lie in your happiness. And also, he is also pointing to the Queen of Cups. And so it's also going to lie in following your heart, which you could say that, these two things are very similar, Ten of Cups and Queen of Cups. They're both very similar energies because it's like they both require you to bring more happiness into your life. And so I think it's just that simple with those two. You have the Eight of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about the Eight of Pentacles in your reading. I mean, I think the Eight of Pentacles is a good card anyway, but, I feel like a little bit extra good in your reading with this. Eight of Pentacles can sometimes represent starting to see a result. Sometimes I feel that he needs to look up from the work he's doing. And so if all we're doing is we're just working, but we're also not like appreciating how far we've come or what we've done, then we can't really see what's working or what's not working. And, there are other things that go on there. So I would make sure that you are taking time to see how much you have accomplished and like what you have accomplished. When we put things into perspective, it makes everything that we're about to do much more possible. And, I think it's really important, since you end with the moon here, that you kind of start to put things into perspective so that they become possible. Again, I was kind of getting like impossible dream on the moon card, and again, I don't think that it's really that your ideas are impossible, but I think it maybe feels a little impossible. But if you put things into perspective and see what you've accomplished, it'll become 1,000,000 times easier. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Page of Cups. You've been getting love in the readings, so yeah, I thought I was going to say something else there, Taurus, and I totally lost it, so I have no clue what I was going to say, but, anyway, I definitely feel that there could be a love connection coming in for you. You've been getting love, obviously you're going to have to get out into the world. I would also say that with the Ten of Cups, it would represent, meeting a person while having fun. So, if you have any hobbies or anything that you enjoy doing, I would like go and do it in public with other people, right? And then, that could be where you meet like an admirer. With the Magician, can't make this up. You have the Queen of Cups, basically just the universe saying, I meant what I said right here. So whenever we get repeating cards, it's like confirmation for the message, and it's basically just the universe saying I meant what I said. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Sun. Yes, you have to see it. I love the Sun. It's the best card in the Tarot deck, but, I also look at Tarot as kind of like actions that we need to take, and the Sun absolutely says you have to see what you are doing. So I think that there is something important going on here with you kind of putting things into perspective in the sense that you're looking at what you have accomplished up until this point. So I think you need to look at like your capabilities or, what you are truly capable of. I feel it will make the moon much more possible. If I'm being honest, I'm not like the biggest fan of going from the sun to the moon. We'll have to see what comes up because usually in a reading we want to go from the moon to the sun in that direction, but we'll see what comes up. And we'll talk about it more when we get to the moon. In the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Crate card. You have this Patience card. You've been getting a lot of creative energies in your readings as well. I'm pretty sure I said this in your mid-monthly or the end of the year reading that I just did, that there was a lot of stuff about creativity in that reading or being creative, tapping into your creative potential. I do also feel that clearly you have the Temperance card as your first card here, so patience is going to be important for you and being patient. I kind of feel like it's like this is a different type of patience, though. I feel like this is, having the patience to do things right or something is popping into my head. And, what I'm not really sure what I mean by that, but what I would say is like instead of, if you're like working on a project, for example, it's like instead of, only doing things one way and thinking that that's going to get you to a finish line, being willing to experiment with things that might actually require you to be patient, I think will actually speed things up. So the opposite. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's like, sometimes I think we start a business, a project, even a relationship, and we think like, oh, this is going to work this one way. And then we try to make it work that one way. And it ends up taking longer than if we say, I'm going to allow this to work and I'm going to try everything and see what works. It might seem like the experimentations, or experimenting is taking longer, but really it's not because you're discovering better ways of doing things. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but there you go. I would be open to experimentation. I think that will lead you to your success much faster. I think you're already going to have, quick success in whatever you're working towards here with the Chariot. Definitely part of your dream. Again, he has these stars in his canopy, these moons on his shoulders. I think that something people forget about the Chariot is it really is a card of alignment. Like, yes, it's a very good card of a victory and success, and you actually have two cards of victory right next to each other. Six of Wands can also represent, an achievement, a victory being celebrated, things like that. But the Chariot, those two Sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe, and they're not attached to the Chariot. And so he is trusting that because he is in alignment, the universe, those two Sphinxes, are going to bring him to where he needs to go. So I feel that for a lot of you. They're also facing in opposite directions, the two Sphinxes. And the Chariot kind of represents the rules of the road. So let me back up a little bit and say that like he still has to follow the rules of the road, but he has options. So, and that's popping into my head. I almost never say that with the Chariot. So, to me, that really doesn't matter usually, but it is popping into my head for you that, it's like, yes, there might be certain rules that you feel you have to follow in accomplishing whatever you're trying to accomplish, but there is still flexibility, within those rules. So I kind of still feel that this is encouraging you to be flexible, be open, all that other good stuff. You have the Queen of Cups, again, very nurturing energy. This is about nurturing your heart or following your heart. Your heart is clearly guiding you at this time. I'm starting to believe that you could also be attracting like a very nurturing person. You get the Queen of Cups in every single reading that I do for you, Taurus. And, I think that it's going to be really important for you to maybe look out for a really nurturing person, or again, you are attracting like a very nurturing connection. You have a lot of fire here. You always get fire with me. So, it could be a fire sign or someone with fire in their chart. With the Temperance card, you have patience again, double patience, and actually triple patience because we have the Strength card twice. And I would actually say quadruple patience because we have the Patience card. The Strength card is about kind of like taming your inner voice or your inner critic or your inner demons or, whatever you want to call it, right? That lion kind of represents her inner critic or her inner demons. And I do feel like some of these things could be coming up, especially for those of you that are working on like a project or working on something in your career with like other people. That might be where the flexibility is needing to come in here, is that other people have ideas too. And, if you're too fixed on getting things done a certain way, that might get in the way. So I feel this is saying like, be a little flexible. With the Chariot, you have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles to me can just represent taking that first step on the journey. The Moon, you have to take the first step on the journey, and we go up to the Moon, up here. The other thing that's popping into my head is sometimes I feel with the Sun to the Moon that the Sun represents like the initial burst of excitement, and then the Moon is the work, right? So it's like you're very excited to start a new journey, or maybe some of you are thinking about starting something new at this time, and it's like you have that initial excitement, but then the Moon is like, oh, but I have to do all these things, right? Or I have to open up emotionally, or I have to be open emotionally, or I could get hurt on this journey, or whatever the fear is, right? So for some of you, I feel this is about just taking the first step off on the path of that could potentially hurt you, in quotation marks. I don't think you're really going to get hurt on this journey, but again, maybe you're fearing failure or something like that. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yep, I knew there was going to be something about teamwork here. I was getting teamwork on the whole patience thing that you have 4 times showing up here. So again, it might be a good time to be patient. And again, I think if you're entering into something where you have a boss, it's like maybe your boss has one vision and you have another vision for what you're doing. Again, I would just be flexible in how you accomplish whatever you're going to accomplish. But again, another great card, Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles are both cards of kind of like mastering your craft. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of mastery, and the Three of Pentacles is a card of quality work, but he has done a really good job. So whatever you are working on, looks really good. You have this, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Giraffe Spirit. It says, see the big picture. You have a Snake Spirit. It says, time to heal. So for a lot of you, Eight of Pentacles, right? Eight of Pentacles, we have to step back. We have to look at all the pentacles in front of us that we have accomplished. We have to put things in perspective and see the big picture. The Snake Spirit could be a great time for you to heal right now. So if you are going through healing, then, obviously this is a good thing. You also have the snake on the Magician card, and so the snake on the Magician card is the Ouroboros, represents reinvention. I kind of feel like some of you could almost be breaking an illusion, or breaking a trance. There's a cobra on the snake card, and the cobra can kind of represent being stuck in a trance, or being put into a trance with something, right? And so I kind of get that feeling here. I want to see. I don't want to say too much because I want to see what this clarifies out to, but with the Moon, this could definitely represent seeing through the illusion, or, kind of like breaking free from a trance. And I'm wondering if that's what's going on here. You have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands, of course, is like a victory or success. He's sitting on his high horse, but he has earned his right to be sitting on that high horse. He has earned the victory or the success that he is being celebrated for. And I do feel that maybe not like, I kind of feel weird about this set of readings for September. I just did those end of the year readings, right? But, it's like this set of readings, the September readings, like I feel like they're talking about the next 6 months. And, again, tarot is timeless. The universe doesn't wear a watch, right? Things happen when they're going to happen. But also, like, I like to remind people as well that when you're watching a reading, even if it's a weekly reading or a monthly reading, it's like, it could be talking, you're going to be, we deal with things in life for a long period of time. It's not like you just, deal with something 1 month and then the next month you're done dealing with whatever you're working on, right? And so, but I feel that this could be something that you are working on for like 6 months. You're working on a project that's going to, give you recognition. And the Moon could kind of say that you're not sure if you're going to receive recognition, but, this should be giving you a little bit of confidence on your path, because I feel it's saying that you are going to receive, the recognition that you deserve, right? You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about leaving one thing behind and starting something new. He's, this wand behind him is complete, and now he's reaching forward to a new wand. The wand, could be something that he's inspired to do or something he wants to do. He also has the whole world in his hands. And so I feel for a lot of you, again, this could say that you're kind of cleaning up one thing and moving on to something else in your life. With the Moon, you have the High Priestess. Definitely a time to trust your intuition. Sometimes with the Moon, all we have is our intuition. The Moon, it's a dark card. It's, part of the Fool's journey. He can't necessarily see everything. He has to see through illusions. It is a full moon on the Moon card. If you're ever outside on a full moon, you can kind of like see, right? There's enough light where you can see what's going on around you. But it also, the Moon casts shadows, and some of those things are illusions. Some of those things are fake. Some of them are real. And so, this is really about trusting your intuition on your journey and like really tapping in. So if you're working on something where you don't know what the outcome is going to be, what you do have is you have your intuition, is what that's saying. With the Six of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups. There you go. Seven of Cups is about thinking about all the things that could happen if you manifest your dream. And a lot of people have been getting this right now. I kind of think it's Neptune and Pisces. I think Neptune and Pisces is like the big impossible dream. Everybody has something big and better that they would like to create. But we also have Saturn, which is kind of like the limitations in Pisces and the hard work that needs to be done. And so the Seven of Cups really just says you have something like a dream that you want to manifest, but you have to find out, right? Good things and bad things could always happen, but sometimes I just feel with the Seven of Cups, it really isn't saying anything other than you have a dream and you have to find out what's going to happen if you manifest that dream, right? And if you don't, it's just always going to be an illusion. With the Two of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. I actually feel like there's some sort of quick change coming in for you here because we go, this way. Ten of Cups can represent fortune after difficulty. A Chariot can kind of represent a breakthrough, and then the Knight of Swords can represent a quick change. And so I feel like there could be kind of like either a breakthrough moment this month that you're having or a quick change. I do feel it has to do with something that you work on with that Two of Wands. So for, if you're working on like a personal project, a business, getting a new career, if you're trying to get a raise or promotion or whatever it is, that could be where the breakthrough happens. You have this Yang Moon card. It says strength, and you have the strength card in this row. You have this Moonstruck. It says take a breath, and so it could be good. With the strength card twice, it could be just a good time for you to heal yourself this month. Take some breathing room for yourself. Maybe you've been moving around a lot. Maybe you've been super busy or doing a lot. And it might, even though I think you're going to be working hard this month in general, because we have the Eight of Pentacles showing up here, if you have any down moments, I would, really take those moments to heal yourself or do something good for yourself. You have the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, again, I do feel like there could be a fire sign that's coming in for some of you if you want love. For others, I feel the Strength card is saying that you kind of have tamed your those inner demons or whatever you want to call them. And this is going to allow you to be much more successful moving forward into the future. You have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is about being spontaneous, and he is also very flexible. So I think that for a lot of you, the Knight of Wands is saying that in the month of September, that you will be very flexible and that you will be embracing kind of like the flexible side of life if it wants to focus. The Knight of Wands is also like the true builder in the tarot. So if he doesn't know how to do something, he just builds it. Or if he needs to build something, he builds it. And so I think a lot of you could be kind of like building up a lot of things at this time. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Again, another confirmation right here for a change in work or a change in the way that you work is definitely coming in for you. So, I like to see that. With the Strength card, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords in the good stuff would be like a blessing in disguise. So for a lot of you, again, if you maybe you have your mindset on how something is going to work, and if it works another way, I think you'll see how something not working out is actually a blessing. But it's kind of funny because, again, I don't think something is not working out is what I'm trying to say. I just think that the way you think something is going to work out is not going to work out, right? And this is just probably a different way that you're figuring out by being flexible. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Wands is about kind of like establishing boundaries. Seven of Wands is also about realizing that you're never going to be ready for something. So it's coming up in the good stuff, but, I read intuitively, and you have two sevens here. Two sevens can represent internal fears that don't exist, but I kind of feel like this is saying that, you're like something that you're working towards is never going to, like you are never going to be ready to do it, so you just have to do it, right? And I feel like that's what that's saying. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, money improving. This month of September has kind of surprised me. Like a lot of people have been getting these cards of financial improvements or better money coming in. And so I think that, it could be a good time of financial improvements. You have this angel card. It says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. And we see a lot of protection here, actually. I mean, temperance. You also have, the Chariot kind of says as long as you're in alignment, you will be getting what you want. So love it. You also have this September card. We're in the month of September. And you have this Rose card. It says romance is in the air. So there you go. For those of you looking for love, definitely could be a really strong connection coming in for you the month of September. Or there could be love coming in for you. You have this Valley card that says deep personal strength and peace that assures success. So I think for a lot of you, that this is about you developing inner peace. Strength card. Strength is all about, again, taming that inner voice so that you can be at peace, or so that you can experience peace. And it looks to me like you're doing a lot of work on yourself. You have this Forest card. It says muddled, unclear thinking, 7 of Cups. Like, don't get trapped in thinking, it's like, I think if you have, I'm just going to say this. I think if you have too much of a plan, that things are going to be too rigid, too strict, too fixed, and things are not going to work out, because it's almost like you're, if I put myself in your shoes, which is how I read, if you have a plan to accomplish something, it's almost like your plan is harder than it needs to be, which, I think everybody, this is not just a Taurus thing, right? Everybody does this whenever they try to accomplish anything. And so I think that this is saying, like, as long as you look for other ways to be successful, you will be successful. You also have this Cracked Cup card. It says dissatisfaction with life. Personally, I really like this card because sometimes I think dissatisfaction is the thing that motivates us to become successful in the first place. We're dissatisfied, things aren't working, we make a change. And so, again, I think this whole entire reading is about you kind of breaking a trance and making some sort of change. But this looks really good, Taurus. Nice and easy, I would say, this month. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.